Good morning, church, and welcome to today's Children's Moment. In a few minutes, we're going to hear about a story from the Gospel of Matthew that many people remember because it's a time when the disciples were in a boat in the middle of a lake on a stormy night, and they were pretty scared because the storm and the wind was making that boat rock back and forth. And as they got closer to the shore, they saw a person walking on water, and that made them even more scared. But as they got closer, Jesus yelled out, "Don't be afraid, it's me." But the disciple Peter wasn't so sure, and he yelled out, "If you're really Jesus, have me walk out to you." So that's what Jesus did. He said, "Come over and join me." So Peter started walking on that water, and he was doing fine until he started looking at that wind, and then he got really scared and he started to sink. He yelled out, "Jesus, save me." So Jesus stretched out his arm and pulled him to safety. Jesus said, "Why did you doubt me?" And Peter wasn't too happy with himself, and he said he was sorry and that he believed that Jesus was truly who he was. This Bible story reminds me of the many times that our scout troop went to a high ropes course where our scouts 11 through 17 got into safety gear and had to climb up 30 feet into the air, into the trees, and walk along the ropes to get from tree to tree, maneuver through obstacles until they got to the final point where they went down a zip line. That was kind of a scary thing for many of them. But they would be harnessed, and there would be a belay line that would keep them from falling to the ground, even if they lost their footing on the ropes. They would also have a ground buddy who would talk them through the obstacles and help encourage them from getting from point to point until they made it to the end. There were multiple layers of safety in place to make sure they wouldn't fall to the ground. But sometimes they had their doubts, and it was their ground buddy who would be there to encourage them, and the scout leader who wouldn't let go of that belay line to keep them safe. It's a lot like the time when Jesus stretched out his arm and pulled Peter to safety. There's times in our lives when we have to get out of our comfort zone and do something that's kind of hard and sometimes kind of scary. And there's also times in our lives when we are just trying to survive this storm. As long as we remember that God is right there with his arms stretched out, pulling us close, we're going to be okay. So I hope this week as we move ahead, you can think of some opportunities that you have to encourage someone who's going through a tough time or might be trying something new in their lives, that they need a little bit more encouragement. And they need to be reminded that God is with them and that God is going to keep them safe and that God is going to keep loving them through the tough times. I hope you have a great week, everyone. Take care. Be safe, stay well, and I'll see you next week.